Hi, Beck Ann here. Now, I wanted to hop on today and ask you, do you have lots of scraps? I have tons and tons of scraps, and sometimes I don't know what to do with them. And sometimes I get overwhelmed by not knowing what I should be working on. Has that ever happened to you, that you can't even get started because you're not sure what to do? Well, this is a good place to start when you're not sure what to do. And I've been going through that a couple days now. I just don't know what to work on, or I just don't have the vibe going. So I will take scraps and make frankenpaper. And what I'll do is I'll take a piece of what I consider ugly paper. Now, to me, you guys, this is ugly. Now, if you don't think it's ugly, that is just fine. But I'm not in love with this paper. And you can tell that I'm not in love with it because I've had this paper and it's from 2003. So it's time to give the ugly paper some love by putting some bright, pretty scraps on it. And what I wanted to show you is that I will take this kind of paper scraps that I do like and rip it up and make a collage. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to collage paper onto the back of this. And the only reason I'm putting it on the back is because if I put it on the front, some of the papers might show through. And since this is not a two-sided sheet of paper, I can do that. So I'm going to be putting all kinds of pretty colors on here. And I had loved these papers when I used them. And I'll have small pieces and large pieces. And then you cut it up and make backgrounds. So I'm going to do that. And then I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, so this might be looking like a big mess to you right now. But it's just paper ripped and turned and layered. And one thing I did want to tell you, I will leave them hang off the edge. And I will take little edge pieces and glue, like if there's white showing where it's a part of the edge, I'll go ahead and glue that down. So there's a straight line edge. Now I put a lot of little pieces in this. I guess you call it a master board because it's one big piece that we're going to be cutting down into smaller ones. So now I'm just going to take my scissors, I'm going to turn it over to the ugly side and take my large scissors and trim off around the paper that's hanging off. And once it dries, then we can start adding layers to it. So even though it might look ugly now, it's going to change. So now that it's dried and I've trimmed off the edges, I'm going to cut this down. I think I'll cut them down into some panels that I can work with, a size that I can work with, and then I've got some backgrounds, and then we can play with them some more. Alright, so I decided to cut 4 panels out of that 12 by 12 piece of paper, and now it's time to just play with different mediums. So what I'm going to do now is I have this embossing paste by Stampin' Up! That my friend Laura gave me. Thank you, Laura. And I have some micron powders. And so I thought it'd be fun just to see, if this turns out ugly and I don't like it. I'm not out a lot because they were scraps of paper. And I also did not like the paper that I was playing with to begin with. So I say I'm not out a lot. Now, I don't use these micro powders very much. I've used them a few times because, okay, so they're messy. And you just got to mix it around until you get a color you like. I know that you can put them in water and spray, so I might have to try that sometime soon because I sometimes just don't do things that aren't comfortable enough. you know, it doesn't feel comfortable enough, so you just say, okay, well, I'll try that sometime, and then don't do it. Well, that's me. So I think I want it even more vibrant than that. I'm going to add a little more. And I have an embossing folder. I think that will be fun to use. And do some embossing on one of these panels. I think I'm going to use this one that has this big piece of blue right there. I think I want to emboss it right there. Ooh, the more I added, that definitely gave it a vibrant, and it's sparkly. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know how many of you use embossing paste. I really had not, and my friend Laura gifted me a partial jar, and I've had fun using it several times now that I don't have a lot left. So I'll have to get some more. All right, I think that's a nice, pretty, vibrant blue. And so I got this one at the Dollar Tree. And this one is a Stampin' Up! One. I think I'm going to like the smaller one. So we're going to put that on there. And we're going to add it on like this. It's important that after you use it, you wash it. But you don't really need a lot. And I am using a takeout container lid for my, to mix my paste in. That's all that it is a takeout lid. I think I want a little more. I want it to come all the way to the edge because I don't know what I'm going to use this for yet. I know it's going to make a great card background. All right, let's look and see how that turned out. Fun, very fun. I think I want to put one on the other side, and I'll do a smaller one. Maybe over here, maybe here. Maybe I'll do 3 of them. I'll finish this up and show you. So while this was drying, I started to play around with one of the other panels, and I cut out a part of it, and this is what I got. And then I started playing with some card bases. These are Memories and More pack from Stampin' Up, and I thought that color went nicely with it. So I cut out a white panel, and then I went and got this. I think this cardstock is a Stampin' Up! Color, and I put some washi tape and ran it through this textured embossing folder. So I've just been having a whole lot of fun while that was drying, just playing. All I'm doing is playing with my paper, my scraps, and just trying to create something new. And so I stamped this thought. You could use some sunny thoughts today by Sunny Sentiments. And I was getting ready to take this little embossing folder and put some rays of sunshine with some So Saffron ink. So I'm having fun. Now, do I think this is going to be a masterpiece of mine? I'm not sure about that. But I sure am having fun just playing with my frankenpaper. Now, before I forget, this is going to be a Satmore Makes, hosted by Jillian Norwood. It's a hashtag that anyone can use, open collaboration, and we all go around and see what other people make every week. So I'd love for you to hop around and see what everybody's been making. And frankenpaper is not my idea. Oh, I love it. I love it. Frankenpaper is not my idea. I heard the term from Biddy Penny. I follow her channel, and she's made it before, and I've made it since I heard it from her channel. I think that looks cute. Now, I think I'm going to cut this out with a circle die. Look at this cuteness. So I cut that out. That looks really cute. And I have this little rabbit that I got from my friend Laura. We will exchange ephemera sometimes, and this is a Stampin' Up! Little rabbit. I think it's from a set called Rainy Days or something. It's retired, but look how cute this is, and I know exactly who I want to give this to. Now I want to tell you something. This was my least favorite spot. I didn't think it flowed. So I turned the paper up to the top. Originally I had it like that, but I turned it up to the top so that my sentiment can hide that spot. But everything else I think looks great. Now isn't that wonderful how I made a panel, and this would never have happened if I wasn't just playing with paper. And there's the ugly side. So yeah, I'm going to put this together, and I'll make up a couple more cards to show you how those turn out. I'll use that panel that I created with the stencil. I have no idea what I could do, but I will figure it out. That's what it's all about, just having a fun play session. All right? Fun. I made 3 projects, and here is what is left. I decided not to use this panel. It was my least favorite, and so I decided I would wait on this. I might cut it up and even make it a more scrappy project. I have this piece left and this piece left. So this is what's left of my scraps. Now let's go to the cards. I want to show you this one. So I decided when I do cards like this, I use all scraps. The card bases, I did mention that these were Stampin' Up! Let me show you. These were called Sweet Thoughts Memory and More card pack. And look at the envelope. So I do like to get pre-made fancy envelopes and cards sometimes, and they're a different size, so it makes it a little more fun to work with some bigger cards sometimes. But when I make panels like this, it's an excellent way to use your scraps. So this is a scrap. I have all these scraps that someone gave me years ago, and I don't have the heart to throw them away, so I'm always putting them in my projects. I had some stickers that have been there, daisy white with pink stickers from Pebbles ink, and then I put some gems, and I used this punch from Stampin' Up! To make that little border with some scraps. So these make very nice scrappy cards, and I used that for all my sentiments. I used this retired Stampin' Up! Sunny Sentiments. I also feel like sometimes when you do this style of frankenpaper, it's nice to focus using word dies and ephemera to decorate them so that you do get to see the paper. So this card's a special one. This one will go to my sister, and it says, "Hoping your birthday is filled with all the best things." So my sister's birthday's this month. And then here's the one that I did with that panel, and I think it looks gorgeous. I used the stamp that said "A happy hello to you," and I tried to use some gel pen, and it kind of made it blend with some pink, which is kind of okay because there's hints of pink. Now these were some leftover. When I make these cards, like I said, I use a lot of leftover. These are watercolored flowers from another project I had done last summer, and so it was a perfect time to use some of them. I used the postage die from Stampin' Up! To cut those out. I haven't decorated the inside of this one yet, and this sparkly ribbon just gives it a little more of a flash to go with this scrap of pink. It's an ombre paper. It's actually darker and it gets lighter. And I just put some blue pearls that I had in my stash and a little leftover butterfly. So I thought that turned out cute. And let me bring this one in again because now it's completely finished with the the sentiment. I put some Wink of Stella on it, and I put some gems. So I hope you liked these cards and that you give frankenpaper a try with some of your scraps. It is just a way to play around, and I would never have thought I was going to make these 3 cards tonight. So give frankenpaper a try, you guys. Until I see you next time in my next video, I hope you're having a great crafty day, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.